She thought she was going crazy. Every weekend she'd wake up sore, disoriented, sometimes in clothes she didn't remember putting on, sometimes not in any at all. At first her husband told her it was stress, that she drank too much, that maybe she was sleepwalking again. He always had an answer, always calm, always patient, always watching her just a little too closely. Then it started happening only on weekends. Friday night, movie, dinner, maybe wine. Saturday morning, bruises, dizziness, no memory of what happened after the first glass. She checked her phone. Call logs, gone. Texts, erased. Photos, none. And still, he smiled at breakfast, fed the dog, kissed her forehead like nothing happened. Until one day she noticed something strange. The dog, a large, oddly restless German shepherd named Bruin, became anxious around her. Not protective, guilty, like it knew something she didn't. That night, she faked drinking the wine. She poured it into a potted plant when he wasn't looking. Then she pretended to sleep. What she heard an hour later changed her life. Heavy footsteps, a drawer opening, a click, a pill bottle, and then whispers to the dog. She didn't move, didn't breathe, just waited. The next morning she bought a nanny cam and hid it inside a picture frame. The footage would be her truth. She didn't expect what came next, because what she captured was not just betrayal, not just abuse. It was the kind of evil that doesn't belong to humans. And the man she trusted, the man she almost married, he wasn't just dangerous, he was something else entirely. If you woke up every weekend bruised and confused, would you believe your partner or your instincts? Comment below. I read every single one. And if this story shocks you, stay with me. Because what she does next will haunt him, and you, forever. Her name was Danielle Morgan, 31 years old, preschool teacher by day, scrapbooker, plant lover, and hopeless romantic by night. The kind of woman who still mailed handwritten birthday cards, who left thank you notes for her Uber driver, who believed naively, sweetly, completely that love was supposed to save you. And in the spring of 2018, she met a man who made her believe it had. His name was Bryson Caldwell, a 38-year-old IT consultant with a calm voice, a broad chest, and a Bible verse in his dating profile. Danielle met him on Hinge. His messages weren't slick, they were sincere. He asked about her parents, remembered her favorite author, listened when she spoke, or at least pretended to. By the third date, he brought her flowers. By the fifth, he met her dog, Penny. By the seventh, he cooked dinner for her in his quiet, spotless house, a 2-story ranch with beige walls and minimalist decor that somehow made him seem more safe. He didn't push, didn't rush, didn't try anything. He just made her feel seen. For the first time in years, Danielle felt like she didn't have to be the one holding it all together. Bryson had a way of taking over, planning, organizing, anticipating. He started picking her up after work, walking Penny in the mornings to give her a break, recommending supplements to help her sleep. It was thoughtful, at first. By the end of the first year, they moved in together. By the start of the second, he proposed. She said yes. Her friends cried. Her mum called him the real thing. And Danielle, who had once gone through a messy breakup that left her borderline depressed, believed Bryson was her second chance at life. But if someone had asked her back then why she kept waking up groggy on Saturdays, why she sometimes blacked out entire weekends, why Penny, her once cheerful dog, had started hiding in closets and whining when Bryson came near, she wouldn't have known what to say. Or worse, she'd have blamed herself. The wine, the stress, the long work weeks. That's how deep Bryson's manipulation ran. Because the grooming didn't look like chains or bruises. It looked like dependency, like a partner who always insisted on pouring the wine himself, who made her smoothies in the morning, always already blended, who said, "Let me handle your refills, babe. You don't need to stress." Bryson had slowly become her pharmacist, her chauffeur, her calendar.
He said it was love, but what he really wanted was control. And Danielle, sweet, selfless, sleepy Danielle, didn't know that her weekends were being erased, one pill at a time. She only knew that something inside her had started to shrink. Her spark, her joy, her memory. Her body didn't feel like hers anymore. And still, she loved him. Because that's the cruel part about psychological predators. They don't just hurt you, they reprogram you, so that when the truth comes, it doesn't feel like betrayal. It feels like waking up from a coma. But if someone you trusted made you feel crazy, how long would it take before you finally believed them? Drop your answer in the comments, especially if you've ever questioned your own memory. And don't forget to like and subscribe. This story is only just beginning.
It started with something small, a missing toothbrush. Danielle had packed it in her weekend bag before leaving for her friend Lauren's bridal shower. She remembered placing it in the side pocket. But when she got to the Airbnb, gone. Bryson laughed it off when she told him on the phone. "Baby, you probably left it on the counter again. You always do that," he said. And maybe he was right. Danielle did forget things sometimes. She'd lost her keys twice that month. Forgot her cousin's birthday. Called her sister 3 times in a row, forgetting she was out of town. But this felt different. She wasn't just distracted, she felt disconnected. From herself, from her body, from time. There were whole weekends she could barely recall. She'd wake up in her own bed, foggy, legs sore, head pounding. Bryson would joke, "Guess you needed the rest," before handing her a protein shake and 2 Tylenol. She believed him. Because why wouldn't she? He was the one who took care of her, who watched over her, who loved her. Until the second shift happened. It was a Tuesday night. She'd come home from work early, a rare half day thanks to parent-teacher conferences. Bryson hadn't expected her. The house was quiet, unusually so. Penny didn't bark, the TV wasn't on, no music, no humming, no blender, just silence and a smell. Something musky, like wet fur and bleach. The scent made her stomach turn. She stepped into the kitchen. The sink was full, the floor had muddy paw prints, and Penny, her sweet, anxious dog, was locked in the laundry room, whimpering. Danielle's heart sank. Bryson never locked Penny away. He knew how much that dog meant to her. She let the dog out, crouched beside her and noticed it. The trembling, the tucked tail, the faint scratch on her side. "What happened, girl?" Danielle whispered. That night she confronted Bryson. His response, "Oh, you're gonna accuse me now?" He flipped it, gaslighted her, said he found evidence that Penny had been attacked outside, that she had probably left the back gate open again. "You've been forgetting things lately, babe." The words stung. Because she had been forgetting things. Because he said it kindly. Because deep down, she feared he was right. She apologized. But later that night, in the bathroom mirror, Danielle stared at her own reflection and didn't recognize the woman blinking back. She looked thinner, her skin pale, eyes vacant. And she couldn't remember the last time she felt awake on a Saturday. The next morning, she called out sick from work. She stayed home, watched Bryson pour her smoothie, and, just before drinking it, pretended to spill it. Made a mess on the floor, said, "Oops." Watched how calm he stayed. Too calm. Later that day, she checked the trash, found 2 empty blister packs of sleeping pills, no labels, no explanation. That night, she didn't sleep. She just lay there, eyes open, arms around Penny, feeling the weight of a question she couldn't ask out loud. What if the man she loved was drugging her? If your own mind starts turning against you, how do you know who to trust, when even you don't feel real? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you've ever questioned your sanity because of someone else's lies, You are not alone. Danielle didn't want to believe it. But disbelief wasn't safety. Disbelief was how women disappeared while still being seen. She stopped drinking the smoothies. She faked being asleep on Saturdays. And she started keeping a journal, writing everything down. Every foggy memory, every strange scent, every ache and mark on her body she couldn't explain. But what changed everything was the pharmacy clerk. It was a quiet Thursday afternoon. Danielle had gone in to pick up her vitamins. While waiting, she overheard a conversation between a man and the pharmacist, a man buying sedatives, a man asking, "Can these be crushed and mixed into liquid?" Danielle turned to look. It wasn't Bryson, but the question froze her spine. So she asked the pharmacist, "Is that something people do? Crush pills into drinks?" The pharmacist looked uncomfortable, said carefully, "It's not recommended. It's often misused. Why do you ask?" Danielle said nothing, just smiled, but her heart was galloping. That night she searched Bryson's office. He had always said, "I don't believe in hiding things from you." But he did. Behind the old board games, inside a shoebox marked tax receipts, she found them. 2 vials of liquid sedative, unlabelled, no prescription. Her hand shook, her breath shallow. She knew she had to do something. But what? The police wouldn't care, not without proof. And telling her friends? They loved Bryson. Everyone did. That's when she remembered the nanny cam her cousin gifted her 2 years ago for when you'll start having babies. It was still in the box, still unused. The next morning, while Bryson was at the gym, she set it up, small, discreet, tucked inside a flower vase in the living room, another in the bedroom, one more in the kitchen right above the counter where he made those smoothies. She didn't tell a soul, not even Lauren, not even her sister. She waited, and she watched. For 3 days. Nothing. He acted normal, charming, affectionate, almost too perfect, until Saturday. Danielle pretended to sleep on the couch, camera rolling, Penny beside her. She heard him in the kitchen. Blender, ice, fruit. Then the clicking of a bottle, liquid pouring, stirring. She heard him say almost under his breath, "She's out in 20. Let's go, baby." She heard a whimper, not hers. Penny's. Then silence. When Danielle watched the footage later, she couldn't breathe. She watched herself being fed poison by the man who swore he loved her, watched her own head go limp, watched him open the back door. And then she couldn't watch anymore, because what walked into the room next wasn't human, and what happened after shattered her. That night, Danielle didn't cry. She called her sister, said only, "I need you, please come, don't ask questions." Then she backed up the footage, every frame, every timestamp, put it on 3 separate USBs, one in her coat pocket, one hidden in her old jewelry box, one left with her dog's vet, just in case. Danielle never slept again in that house. She left with Penny and didn't look back. If the person who promises to protect you is the very one staging your nightmares, what would you do next? Comment below. Because someone needs your voice to feel less alone. Danielle didn't sleep that night, not even a minute. She sat on her sister's couch, wrapped in a blanket, watching Penny breathe softly on the floor. The USB drive sat on the coffee table. Next to it, a glass of untouched water. She couldn't drink anything anymore, not without fear. Her sister Mariah had questions, 1,000 of them. Danielle didn't answer them all. She just said, "I was being drugged," then added, "And it's worse than you think." Mariah asked if it was another woman. Danielle shook her head slowly. "No, it's not a woman." Mariah stared. "What do you mean?" Danielle handed her the drive. Mariah watched, and when the truth spilled out, she ran to the bathroom and threw up. The next day, Danielle went to work like nothing happened. She smiled, laughed, filed reports. But inside, a war raged. She didn't know if she should go to the police. She didn't know how to even explain what she had seen. Would they believe her? Would they blame her for not speaking up sooner? The shame ate at her. The silence rotted her. But she kept moving. Until one Friday, a man from Bryson's job called. Said Bryson was looking for her, that he'd been a little off lately. Danielle felt her throat close. She ended the call, packed her bag, and drove to a different city to stay with a cousin. She didn't tell Bryson. She didn't return his texts. But every morning, she checked her Ring camera at the old apartment. He'd come by twice. Once with flowers, once just standing, smiling, looking straight at the camera. He knew. She realised then. He might have seen the nanny cam. He might have known she left with something. That's when she started checking the locks twice, sleeping with the lights on, keeping Penny at her side. She also called a lawyer, not to press charges, but to ask, what happens if you have proof, but don't feel safe turning it in? The lawyer didn't laugh, didn't flinch. He asked her two things. 1, is the footage authentic? 2, do you still have it? She said yes. He replied, then you're not crazy. You're a survivor. He referred her to a private investigator. Danielle handed over everything and waited. Weeks passed. Then one night she got a call. The PI said, don't go back to the apartment and don't talk to him, no matter what. Danielle's stomach dropped. She asked, why? His voice was flat. We found more, and what we found might not just put him away. It might burn everything down. She hung up, clutched Penny, stared out the window at a world that suddenly looked less like home and more like a lie. If your safety meant destroying someone everyone else adored, would you stay quiet or finally bring the truth into the light? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because someone reading this might be in the same silent battle. It happened on a Sunday morning, not in a dark alley, not in the dead of night, but outside a cafe in downtown Raleigh, while Bryson smiled and handed a barista his card. He never saw it coming. 2 unmarked cars, a slow approach, then the words that sent customers scrambling and Bryson's face draining of colour. Bryson Hale? You're under arrest. They didn't even need to cuff him roughly. He didn't run. He didn't speak. The moment he saw the officer pull out a clear evidence bag, the USB drive, the one he thought he destroyed, his knees buckled. Inside the cruiser he sat stone-faced, but inside his house, inside the apartment Danielle had fled from, dozens of files had already been seized, hidden hard drives, encrypted folders labelled as tax documents, and inside them, videos. Hundreds. Many of them weren't just Danielle. Some, horrifyingly, weren't even adults. The story broke within 48 hours. Local headlines first. Raleigh man arrested in shocking abuse case. Hidden camera footage uncovers disturbing truth. Then national ones. Then viral TikToks. Then podcasts. Everyone had an opinion, but only Danielle had the truth. And she never spoke on camera, never gave interviews. She didn't need to. The court case spoke for her. Bryson pleaded not guilty, claimed the footage was AI generated, claimed Danielle was obsessed and vengeful. But his search history said otherwise. So did the timestamps, so did Penny's medical records, and the quiet testimony of a vet who'd been paid hush money. Danielle sat in the courtroom once, just once, long enough to hear the words. Count 1, guilty. Count 2, guilty. Count 3. The judge paused, looked at Bryson, then read the sentence. Life, without parole. Danielle didn't cry. She didn't smile. She walked out slowly, breathed, held Penny tighter, then disappeared, changed her number, deleted her accounts, started over. Some say she moved up north. Others say she runs a shelter for women now. But one thing's certain. She never touched wine again. Never trusted a locked door without checking twice. and never ever let silence be her shield. Bryson Hale had everything: looks, charm, a respectable job, and a loyal fiancé. But he traded it all for a secret so vile, even prison won't forget it. They say inmates have codes. And Bryson? Bryson broke them all. What would you have done if you found that camera? Do you think Danielle should have gone public, or did she win by walking away? Drop your thoughts in the comments. You never know who your words might help. And if this story shook you, wait till you hear the one about the stepfather who buried the truth for 20 years, until a single school essay cracked it wide open. Subscribe so you never miss what's hidden beneath the surface.